The NNPGs have once again lashed out at the NSCN-IM for the delay in conclusion of talks. Speaking exclusively to Northeast Live correspondent Sarah Konyak, co-convener of NNPGs Isak Sumi said that it was perplexing as to why the NSCN-IM keeps changing its stand and delay the solution on some pretext or the other. Sumi claimed that the talks between the Government of India and the NSCN-IM should have concluded in August 2015 and the need for official conclusion of talks in October 2019 should not have arose. Significantly, the NNPG leader said that the flag and constitution is an afterthought and was never part of framework agreement. The NNPGs also released a video to the media on the framework agreement.
As I've stated, it is beyond comprehension, it is very confounding, it is very perplexing as to why they keep on changing their stand every now and then. Why do they have to come up with every different pretext at every stage of time? When the Naga peace process enters into a crucial solution, they will give one excuse or the other in order to derail or to prolong or to delay the solution. So now coming up with another excuse that flag and constitution is not an obstacle, it's just a matter of another excuse to elude solution. Otherwise, all along, as we have been discussing, that it is already declared on 3rd of August that the talks have been satisfactorily concluded by both the parties. So even 31st of October 2019 should not even come up. But when the government of India declared the intention to give a solution to the Nagas, they came back to Nagaland and they came back to Hebron and started saying that framework agreement has been misinterpreted by the government of India, and they have started saying that flag and constitution is imminent. But nowhere in the framework agreement, as we have seen, and it is already in the public domain, is flag and constitution even slightly mentioned. So it is just an afterthought of post 31st 2019 declaration, which they themselves are also party to it. So now again twisting the process, saying that flag and constitution is not an obstacle, it's simply a matter beyond comprehension. So you need to ask them what others they have in their cupboard again.
And reacting to the NSCN-IM statement issued on Monday, wherein it questioned the government of India for signing two agreements, the framework agreement and the agreed position. The NNPG co-convener said that it is beyond comprehension as to why the IM changes its stand every now and then. Isak Sumi said that it is not for anyone to decide which agreement should be the final solution. The solution should be comprehensive and inclusive and fully endorsed by the Naga people.
It is very confounding and it is beyond comprehension as to why they have to change their stand every now and then. And it is not for us, it is not for the negotiating party like the NNPG or the IM to ask the government to decide which agreement should be chosen for a final agreement. Our negotiation, our process is very clear that the solution should be comprehensive and it should be inclusive. And accordingly, the agreed position has been endorsed and being fully supported by the Naga people, and all the negotiated points included in our status paper have been distributed to the people at large. The people have gone through it and they have fully endorsed the status paper which we have submitted to the government of India already. So our process is and will always be for the people, since it is being supported by the people, and it should be a comprehensive and inclusive solution covering all the Naga inhabited areas in India and all the stakeholders. Therefore, I should say that it is not for us to ask the government of India choose one agreement over the other. Rather, it should be a comprehensive agreement. And therefore, it is not for us to ask the government of India to choose one over the other.
Significantly, the NNPGs also questioned the very basis of framework agreement, terming it an unilateral act on the part of NSCN-IM without consulting or taking the endorsement of the Naga civil society or other Naga groups. The NNPG co-convener added that the framework agreement is a single-page declaration and there is no such content in black and white that has been shown to the people. Well, Sumi even suspects if the demands in black and white are with the government of India, either which means the inherent demand of the Naga people have been compromised.
Yeah, considering the inherent demand of the Nagas, we feel that the framework agreement was the unilateral act by the NSCN-IM because not a single Naga or the cross-Naga section was consulted. They went ahead without taking the consent or the mandate of the Naga people. And the framework, even though it's a simple one-page declaration, and there is no such content in black and white that has been shown to the people, or we even suspect that such demands in black and white is with the government of India. We have been told and we have learned from the reliable sources that it is simply a waste of time. It's a matter of discussion, just a discussion, and it was not a negotiation at all. Because so far there has not been such a document that can be called a negotiated agreement in black and white, either with the government of India or in the public domain. So when we go through the one-page declaration, the so-called framework agreement that has been arrived between the government of India and IM on 3rd August 2015, it clearly indicates that the inherent demand of the Naga people has been compromised.
And well, the NNPG co-convener added that no endorsement was taken from the civil society or people of chief ministers of the concerned states before signing the framework agreement.
No Naga was taken into confidence. No NGO or civil society that represents the Naga people from grassroots level, from the ground level to the top level, or the other stakeholders were either consulted, informed, or endorsement were taken from the people, including the concerned chief ministers of the three states. So I should say, therefore, it is a unilateral act on the part of the NSCN-IM.
Meanwhile, NNPG Working Committee Coordinator Alezo Venuh said that IM should come out with a roadmap or else it will amount to fooling the Naga people.
Well, for all this year, they have not disclosed the content of the, what they call, they have been, saying that, the agreement is based on what, but unless they come out with a roadmap. So, I mean, I can say that it's, they have been fooling the Nagas for all this year.
The NNPGs added that it will be pertinent to say that the framework agreement is the conclusion of talks process between the NSCN-IM and the government of India. NNPGs, however, said that it cannot be termed as an Indo-Naga agreement as people and stakeholders were not consulted.
Yeah, it is pertinent to say that the framework agreement, after 19 years of long discussion between the IM and the government of India, well, not a single Naga is privy to that. So I should say that it is clear enough in itself that whatever process that was between the NSCN-IM and the government of India, it has already been concluded, as it is precisely mentioned in the agreement itself, that it is a matter of great satisfaction that the talks have been successfully concluded between the two parties. So between the two parties, it is already settled, whatever the process was. However, it is very unfortunate that it is not an Indo-Naga agreement, because the confidence or the support of the people is not there, and then the people has not been consulted, or the stakeholders have been have not been consulted or the endorsement or the mandate acquired. So it cannot be in any manner called as Indo-Naga agreement. Rather, it is a conclusion of whatever process between the NSCN-IM and the Government of India. It is also relevant to mention that when we reflect on the process and the agreement between the NNPG and the Government of India, it is rather an agreement between the two governments, between the two entities, supported and endorsed by the Naga people as a whole, whereas it is very unfortunate to say that the agreement which was met with the Government of India was between NSCN-IM as a party and not a representative of the people, or not their government, which we call GPRN, Government of the People's Republic of Nagaland, was neither a party to the agreement nor their consent or their signature is reflected in the framework agreement. So it is an agreement between the party, between a group, between an organization, that is an NSCN-IM and with the Government of India, and not representing the Naga people or the popular will of the people.
Meanwhile, NNPG's Working Committee Coordinator Alezo Venuh spoke on the role of Core Committee and the recent resolutions adopted by it.
Well, I think as it came out in this print media that the civil society, some of the apex body have acknowledged and appreciated the resolution taken on 16 July. So on our part, the working committee also appreciate that for all this year we have been asking them that, the state government led by Chief Minister has to come up with its stand very clear with the Naga political issue for solution. When we look at back on 2018 when election was held, it is clearly, the stand was very clear that election for solution. Now another election is coming up, so I think they have to stick to what they have, taken a decision. So we look forward that, the state government, the politician, the present government, they should, put things into action.
Meanwhile, NNPG Co-convener also spoke on their next move.
Now, as you know very well that it is not simply a matter between the NNPG and the Government of India. We know that we already have our agreement in place, waiting for the final signing to be done as a final comprehensive solution. And we are looking forward from the NSCN-IM to come positively. But if at all the solution is not forthcoming and election should come, it will not be a matter to be decided by the NNPGs alone. We will have to consult the people, and then whatever necessary steps in order to resuscitate our issue and our demands and our struggle, that will have to be taken broadly with the consultation of the people.